So Google has just released AI Studio, and it is an absolute game changer. From just using their models to building out apps and just having everything in one place, this is an absolute game changer, and it is free. So if you're using no-code tools, I would highly suggest potentially switching over to Google AI Studio. And today I'm going to be showing you everything about it, from what it offers to what you can do with it. And we're actually going to be building out some cool stuff. And again, it's completely free. So let's dive into it. We have a discovery feature. We have, obviously, we can build apps, which we're going to build something out here. We have some, we can operate some stuff. We can basically see data from the stuff we build, and we can actually build directly with the SDK, and we can use their API, okay? And then all their models are right here. So all we do is we have pricing up at the top here, explore documentation if you're looking for anything specific. But I'm just gonna press let's get started here. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna pull this out. And let's first go off by building an app, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to build. So again, we have build, we have chat feature. All we're gonna do is press on build here. And this is the coolest thing. I really like this feature where, I mean, Lovable's a little different where you actually have to pretty much, you have to prompt in, right? So you have to prompt in something into the app. Here they actually give you the ability, as they say, to supercharge your apps, which is really cool. So if you're trying to build an app with, a photo editing feature, we can have that. If you're trying to do some voice feature, we can add that in. A video feature, we can add that in. And again, it's Google, so they have so much on the back end that we can really supercharge our apps as they're suggesting here. So let's actually just do that. So what I think would be pretty cool to see would be a photo editing feature. Let's definitely do a voice feature, as I would want to talk to it. Let's potentially use Google search data, obviously, because that would help. And let's just do intelligence here. All I think I would want to do, and again, we can kind of switch the models. We can come in here. We can kind of give it some system instructions if we want. Again, we can go through here. We're just going to stay on Gemini 2.5 Pro. Let's get into that. And all I'm going to say is create me a fitness app where I can track my meals and lifts. Okay, super simple. Again, what I would usually do is actually go to Gemini, go to some LLM, and actually have it build me a prompt, a master prompt, so I can have a really full-fledged, beautiful looking app. A master prompt is great, and I would suggest you start using master prompts. Nonetheless, let's build this out here. We have 4 features. All right, so after a few minutes, we actually have an app developed for us. So let's just kind of break down what it's actually doing. So it stopped for a few minutes here. It's very cool because it really does break things down on what it's actually doing to develop what we're about to see. And then it really does give us the components. So as we can see, if we kind of analyze this, we have icons, dashboards, meal editor, which obviously is important, nutrition lookup, perfect, viral coach, and obviously the app. And then again, it's thought a little longer on what it's really trying to do. And then we obviously have the code aspect of things. So we've done 206 lines of code on that portion. And then the cool thing is too, so let's just do this. So since we want it to be voice, or I can speak to the app, we're just gonna allow, and then right here. So check this out. This is pretty cool, and we can always add to it. So make changes, add new features, ask anything. Very common, specifically with stuff like this. And we can restore checkpoints. So again, if we ever kind of overstep and we don't like what we see, we can always restore the checkpoint to a certain area, which is obviously very, very helpful. This is the preview here. And so the cool part is we obviously have a menu up here. So we have the dashboard, meal editor, and look, the functionality is already there. We can speak to the couch, and then we can obviously look it up. So let's see if this actually works. Let's just do chicken breast. It would be great if we could just look it up. We could probably edit that in. Let's just say 250 calories. And let's do add meal. There it is, lovely. Exercise, let's do deadlifts. I love those. Let's do 4 sets because it was quite a big day. Let's do 5 reps. We're lifting heavy. And let's do, I don't know, let's just do 370, 385. As I'm trying to get to 400. So as we can see, perfect. We have our meals logged. And then what we can do is, just for sake here, let's just say 280 calories, add that in. Let's add another theoretical meal in. Let's do 300 calories, add that in. And then what we can do is actually, let's analyze my day and let's see what it gives me. And again, this is just the dashboard of things. If we can go in here, we can choose a file. So meal photo editor, upload a photo of your meal and describe how you want it to change. Now, obviously I'm not looking to do that. This is more so, this is basically the Nana Banana feature we implemented. We'd probably have to change it because I'm not looking to post this or anything. But I could theoretically have a, where I can actually take a photo of my meal and then upload it so I actually know what I was eating and how big it was. Analyze my day once again here, and let's see if this works out. And again, I can edit the layout, I can edit the copy, I can edit the font, I can change all of that via code or even manually potentially. But let's just see what it's generating here. I'm very interested. So after a little bit of time, it did generate us a page here. So of course it takes serious dedication to track your training and nutrition, and it gives us here. Now obviously the formatting of it, I'm not a big fan. It's just kind of code language here. I would want to change that to make it more just, give me basically just a summary of my day, maybe add some photos in. But nonetheless, this is fantastic. I love what I'm seeing. I can speak to the coach. Perfect, look at that. I do have the functionality there. And the nutrition lookup, which basically how much protein is in 100 grams. So let's do chicken breast. Let's go 8 ounce chicken breast. 8 ounce chicken breast. Let's see if it knows what I'm looking for. If not, there we go, right? And this is why we did want the data from Google, because obviously it has this. So that is phenomenal, okay? And then obviously I can do something with that there, but that's great. That's really great. And so after, again, I would get a proper prompt. I would keep iterating, keep editing it, make sure the front end, the back end. Again, I have access to the code here. I have access to the front. Maybe I can change the color. Right now it's called Gemini FitPal. We can change that. We can go to devices here, right? So it's mobile friendly at the moment. We can change that up, of course. We could go back here, go to my current screen, lovely. So we can actually save it, which is, I'd highly suggest you save for work. We can download the app. We can save to GitHub if we're looking to produce it to the public within, obviously, GitHub. We can actually deploy the app, right? We'd have to just create a cloud project and then obviously deploy your app as a cloud run service. This app will be successful via the public URL. Your API key will not be exposed in the app, but obviously it's going to be used for the app. Which is very cool. So again, instantly we do have an app, very functional, and I think this gives Lovable and all these other tools kind of a run for the money. So that is the building portion. Now let's go to the chat feature. So this is their chat section here, and currently we can do a lot of stuff. So we can obviously use Gemini, we can do live, we can do images, which we can go to Nana Banana, of course, and we can start basically throwing in certain images and using it. We don't necessarily have to go to Gemini and then select basically their LLM. It is all right here. We do have access to VO2. Now we don't have access of yet. We don't have access to VO3 just yet. I believe we can do it via the API key, but we do have VO2 currently. And VO2, I mean, it's probably, solving for the API key might be a little confusing for some, so just VO2 is probably perfect. And then we do obviously have audio feature here, right? So this is great. We do have the featured. I can come in here and I can just say, make me a photo of a jacked, 40-year-old man on the beach. And again, so all we're doing here, and I can probably implement it, I can input an image. All Google is doing here is creating their own little housing Save your conversation Google Drive. No, I do not want to. And there we go. See, we have an individual. Actually, it looks pretty good. Okay, so we have obviously the lighting looks pretty much on point. We can have some feet, someone's walking through the beach here. We have some water, so that's great. And again, it's all here, so you don't have to go from LLM to LLM. It's just all within AI Studio, and it makes your life a little easier. Obviously, we can play around with the temperature. We can play around with the aspect ratio. We're looking to do it vertically, horizontal. You kind of get the gist of things. And obviously, we can go get the code. And we can paste this into something else, right? And then we can run. So that's pretty much it. I have 285 tokens at this moment. So that is Google AI Studio. Give it a try, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.